Hey guys, I'm Morgan Harbin, and welcome back to another video in our All-Star series, where we interview influential robotics teams in the East Tennessee region, so that your team can hit the ground running, armed with some pro tips in the fast approaching season. We're here at Blount County Robotics headquarters in Maryville, Tennessee, so without further ado, let's go check it out. As you can see, BCR has a lot of team spirit. They've been around since 2012, and since then they've proved themselves to be a proper veteran team. Over the past couple years, they've started multiple initiatives to improve branding and team structure, all with the goal of exemplifying the principles of FIRST Robotics. Here with us today is Alijah Lawson, the business lead here and the world's leader in headband fashion, and he's going to tell us more. So Alijah, tell us a little bit of your involvement over the past few years with BCR.
Glad to, Morgan. And essentially, whilst kind of serving as being a helper in the build group, I eventually realized that I was really interested in business, and I kind of helped out with that until eventually around my third year of involvement, I became the co-lead of the team. And the year following that, I served as the business lead. And then for the fifth year and this current year, I have remained business lead. So essentially I've been in the top tier of the BCR leadership for the past 3 years, including this year.
Certainly neat.
Thank you very much.
Was there ever a defining moment in the team, a defining moment in the success of this team?
Well, our first year when I was, like I said, I was in 8th grade, our team was, very kind of slapped together, as you can imagine, by any first year rookie team. Yeah. And when we got to the Smoky Mountain Regional, we competed, and essentially we came in the top 8 teams, and we got the Rookie All-Star Award, which at that point, at least in my mind, signified that regardless of how the team progresses for the next several years, our team will be held to a high standard because of our first year.
Of course. Now, any good team can label the weaknesses of their team as well as the strengths. So what do you think are the strengths and weaknesses of Blount County Robotics?
I would say that the immediate strengths are that I feel that BCR is probably the most student-led team in our area, to the point where sometimes I feel that there's a little too much student leadership and there needs to be a bit more mentor intervention. But regardless of it being entirely student-led, our team runs very smoothly. Yeah. So I feel that having a very strong student leadership has benefited our team. Investing in a lot of side projects that help the community. Like I said, SMR Vault is our biggest side project that helps the community. But in terms of weaknesses of our team, I feel that we, like most teams, are trying to refine our team involvement in CAD and computer-aided design. Yeah. I personally think the most important part of any season is the actual design process.
Of course.
When actually deciding how we're going to build the robot and what we want it to accomplish, as well as conveying that idea to the rest of the team. So making sure that we utilize as many resources as possible, that being CAD, has been something that we have tried to push for the past several years. We've had varied amounts of success in that, and our team will continue to work on that.
What is your team structure? How have you chosen to structure it, and why did you do that?
Well, the way our team is structured is that we do not have a single captain of the team or a single lead and a co-lead. We're run by what I call the triumvirate. Essentially, we have one lead for business, which is myself. We have a co-lead for business. We have one lead for technical, which technical encompasses the electrical aspect as well as the programming aspect. And we have a co-lead for that group. And we have the lead of build and their co-lead. And the 3 groups all work together through these 3 leaders and collectively make a lot of decision making for the team, as well as do planning for meetings and push the team in its set direction.
So one of the biggest things teams are going to face going into the season is managing priorities, and that can be extremely difficult because, as everyone I'm sure knows, you get to the end of the season and things just catch up with you, and all of a sudden you're trying to cram things into the last week. So how does your team manage those priorities? Essentially,
a system which I call working on, doing, and done. which essentially is at the end of every meeting, we gather our team together and we say, what are we currently working on? What did we accomplish today? And what do we need to do tomorrow? And essentially by doing that, we log these things in our main work area. So everyone can see them on one board. And essentially that keeps track of the day-to-day activities of what are we currently working on, what did we accomplish yesterday so we don't retrace our steps, and what do we need to do in the next upcoming days.
So it's the first day of the build season. They've just released the video for what the competition's going to be. Tell me what it's going to look like. How is BCR going to prepare for that? What kind of brainstorming sessions are going to occur?
Sweet. Well, to put it very concisely, essentially, once our team knows what the competition is, we will break off into two groups. One group being point strategy, and the other group being general restrictions. Restrictions group looks at the rule book once you print out. First thing we do is print off a lot of copies of the rule book. And the restrictions group looks at what a robot can't do. That is in regards to maximum height of the robot, maximum size constraints, things of that nature. Illegal moves the robot can't make. And while the strategy group examines all possible ways our robot can score points and combines those into every possible point scoring route that a robot can take. Then we cross-reference the possible ways we can score points with the things we can't do, and we narrow it down to a few possible strategies, what we want a robot to do. And then from that we will decide two general game strategies for what we want our robot to do. Not how we want to build it, but what kind of actions we want a robot to take to score points. Once we do that, our plan for this year is that we're going to essentially make designs for a possible robot based on those two strategies. And then after looking at the design aspect, we say, okay, which game strategy will work best with our current resources and our building ability and our building capabilities. And once we do that, by the end of the day, we will have a really solid plan for what we want our robot to do. And once we know what we want our robot to do, and we've invested all that energy, we then will begin about a week and a half long process of essentially doing the design portion and prototyping portion. And once we get that prototyping portion, the remaining 5 or so weeks will be dedicated to building multiple models of that robot. So that's kind of how that will play out this year.
Yeah.
So we've revamped that a lot from last year.
Now, how does your team really encourage active community involvement? How do you maintain proper sponsor relations? And how do you make Blount County aware of Blount County Robotics?
This year we made a really large initiative to make sure that our community is aware of kind of what our team is doing. About a week ago, BCR had its first community relations event, which essentially we called a lot of our sponsors as well as members of the local press and members of all the schools that are affiliated with BCR. And essentially we gave them a general about 1 hour rundown of what our team has been doing in the past year. And essentially we did that and we got a lot of good response from that. So having press related events as well as events we can invite our sponsors to definitely is a way to make sure that we are in touch with those members.
Now, last question, and this one's a kicker.
All right.
Is there a song that defines your team?
I would say Light It Up. I forget who that's by, but well, we have a light bulb for our logo, so that's kind of a pun there. But I would say that BCR serves as a light that kind of lights up the first community in East Tennessee for its creative ideas.
Well, there you have it. And that's a wrap. Thanks guys for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to like it below and share it with all of your fellow robotics members. We hope this helped going into what should be a very hectic build season, but we're not there yet. Until then, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this, so you'll be prepared for whatever challenge first throws at us. See you next time.
Light it up.